Hi, now I'm going to create a client to site VPN tunnel in a Palo Alto firewall. So there's two kind of VPN, SSL VPN and the agent VPN, which work with the GlobalProtect. So GlobalProtect is an application which we need to install. After that, we will be able to connect to this firewall. But if we agentless or SSL VPN, we don't need this application. We can go on to the web browser. We can type the URL and we can able to access the VPN. So the SSL VPN, this is a paid version and it need a license. So this is a dummy firewall, so I cannot work with the SSL VPN, but I will work with the GlobalProtect. So this is my firewall, and they're two zones. This is my inside zone, Ethernet 1/2. Ethernet 1/1 is my outside zone, which is connected to the ISP, and this is my management port from where I am accessing this firewall. So I have like configure this IP address on Ethernet 1/2 192.168.1.100, and it's like 192.168.86.169. I have configured on Ethernet 1/1, and this is a switch, and this is like another device from where I will access this firewall. Like from here I will install the GlobalProtect app and I will connect to this firewall and I will go into the internal network. So let's start now. So this is my firewall and these two zones there, in zone and outside zone. I have created a management profile, ping profile here. So that's the only thing I have done. So let's start now. So I need to create a new one more zone here. Add a zone, VPN zone, and make it as a layer 3. And the VPN zone should be enable user identification. It should be enabled all the time. Okay. So now go to the interface. As you can see, Ethernet 1/1, I have IP address 192.168.86.169.24. This is the one. It's Ethernet 1. And on Ethernet 1/2, I have 1.100. Ethernet 1/2, I have 1.100 IP. And they are, if we go on the Ethernet 1/1, like this is a command I have type ISP layer 3 zone. It's on a default virtual router. Security zone outside IPv4. I have assigned 86.169 and I have assigned a ping service. That's it. Same here. If I go on Ethernet 1/2, this is a okay. We can put a comment here. Local LAN none. Virtual router is default. Security zone inside in IPv4. I have assigned 192.168.1.100 and I have assigned like a ping. Okay. Now I need to configure one tunnel interface. Click on the add. So I can give the any name to this tunnel. So I give a number 10 and name I can put like VPN tunnel. Virtual router, I'm gonna use it in the default virtual router. Security zone, I will use a VPN zone. IPv4, I don't need it. No IPv6 advanced ping, I can use it here as a ping management. Now what I need to configure. So now go back to the yeah, virtual router. We need to configure virtual router. So we need to have a one static root. So what the static root say, like 0 dot, we can give the name default root, destination 0.0.0.0/0, give it to Ethernet 1/1 ISP port. Next hop is 192.168.86.2. Okay, that's the default route I give. Like any network come like give it to next hop is like 86.2. And I need to configure, this is the GlobalProtect we want to configure now in another 2 minutes. So I need to create a one policy. So create new policy, VPN user, source could be inside and VPN, destination can be inside, outside and VPN, application any service here, action allow, logit session start. I need to do a netting too. I can give the name, any name like VPN net. So source zone can be my inside zone and my VPN zone. They can be translated into outside zone, translated packet. Okay. Now I need to create a certificate. So let's generate a new certificate. It's a local certificate. Actually, certificate will be used to authenticate the clients. And this, like normally we can buy like a certificate from the third-party application, like from GoDaddy and from any another vendor, or even from Microsoft, and we can use that certificate to make a trust. But here I'm going to use like a local certificate. So name I'm going to use it like a VPN cert. Common name I'm going to use here this is my ISP 86.169. And signed by certified authority. That's it. There's nothing on here. I need to use a one attribute IP. .169. Local VPN certificate, common name, signed by certified authority, RSA VPN. Okay, all good. Generate. Now make it as a trusted certificate. Trusted root CA. Okay, so now SSL TLS certificate. So we need in this profile we need to print the certificate here. So name we can put like VPN. And the certificate we just created VPN cert. Okay, that's it. Now I need authentication profile. So normally what happen like in the production we don't use the authentication profile. If we have to use, if we have like limited users, then we can use it. But if we have LDAP integration, then we use authentication profile as LDAP. But for the moment I'm going to use a local user database. So here I'm going to create a 2-user account. VPN1, password is 1234567 12378. Okay. So now what I have created 2 users. So any VPN who is in this local database, they will be authenticated with this password, and then they will be able to access the firewall. Sorry, they will go to the internal network. So authentication profile I'm going to use. I need to create a new authentication profile here. We can give the name VPN authenticate. And the type is going to be a local database. Normally we use LDAP, Radius or TACAS. So here I'm going to use local database, advanced, and all the users should be authenticated. And we can select like users, like only these 2 users can access VPN. And if you have like okay, VPN 1 user, it can only access the VPN. VPN 2 is not allowed. So but I'm going to select all for now. Factor authentication, all good. Okay, everything is done for so far. So let's commit these changes. And while the commit gets successful, so I'm gonna go to the network, and now I will configure the tunnel. So to configure the tunnel, we should have like first we need to create a portal. So we'll create a portal here. Once the request hit to the portal, then it will go to the gateway. So first we will create a portal, add a new portal name. We can give like a VPN portal interface. This is the interface which we will need, like where the request will hit. So all the request will come and hit my Ethernet 1/1 for the VPN access. So I need to select here Ethernet 1/1. Okay, let the commit get successful. After that, the port will come up here. Okay, it's completed now. Portal. Now we can see Ethernet 1/1. The request will hit on the Ethernet 1/1 on this portal, and the IP address is gonna be this one. Normally this is a private IP address, but in production we have a like public IP address here. So it's my lab, so I don't have public IP, so I'm gonna use this private one. And the portal page like is gonna be factory default, or we can like disable the portal page. That's the only thing we have to do. Now go to the authentication. Here like the SSL TLS profile which we created in the device, so we have to link that profile here. VPN SSL TLS profile, client authentication add. We can give the name client authentication. Here we can select the operating system, like which operating system we can use, like Android browse. We can like limit like only from the Android devices, and the Chrome they can access, otherwise they cannot access. So I'm going to allow all the operating system and authentication profile, like the local database which we created, VPN authentication profile. That's it, or there's nothing. Okay, now we have to go to the agent. So here we need to like trusted root CA. So here we the certificate which we created, VPN certificate, that, and install this certificate in the local machine, and then user will be able to access. We can use like agent or user override keys sometimes just to override these things, but when we have to create a, like a agent detail here. So authentication should be again VPN authentication. That's it. Configuration criteria, all the operating system, or we can select the user from here also, like only the VPN 1, 2, or like any specific group can access. But internal, we don't need this one. Like this, we use it like suppose people inside the company, they have to access some services, and but like this is not a use for now. External, yes, we have to create this one. External add. So this is the one like external, give it a name any. So here like when on the GlobalProtect, what IP address we need to type. So okay, I just started my firewall here. So as I said, this is the GlobalProtect VPN certificate. Like when it login, so what we need to type here. So that's the IP. So we can type here fully qualified domain name. Suppose we have like a portal dot abc.com. We can use this one if we have it, but I do not have any FQDN, so I'm going to use it with the IP address. Okay, let's see it in okay, never mind. So I'm going to use it here, the IP, like from which IP 86.169, that IP they need to type here, then they will be request will come and hit the firewall 192.168.86.169. And the source region we can select, like from which country people can access and from which country we can block the user. So we don't need it now. Okay, app we don't need it. If we disable this one because this is a license one. Just double checking everything is all good. Yeah, all good. Okay, Now we have to clientless VPN that I told like SSL VPN we use it. Oh, this is satellite. Okay, everything is good now. Okay, now we need to configure a gateway. It's the same steps we have to configure one more time. Add, give it a name like gateway 1. Interface hitting Ethernet 1/1, IPv4 86.169. Authentication the same like the TLS profile we created. Use that profile. Add a client authentication again. Authentication profile, local database. Okay, now go to the agent. Here we need to enable the tunnel which we created, tunnel 10. Maximum user we can select like how many users can access in one time. So default group name nothing. Client setting, this is very important, so we have to add this one, and we can give now client setting. Authentication override, we don't IP pool, like when the people they connect with the VPN, everything is verified, like username, password, profile, which IP they need to assign. So we can give him the IP range 1.1.1 to 1.1.10. So they will receive this IP. Split tunnel is like the thing is, okay, suppose this client want to go to Google, so he don't need to go to the VPN, he can directly go to the internet. That's so called a split tunnel. If it's a fully tunnel, then it means like people they will connect to the VPN. Even if they have to go to the Google or Yahoo first, the request will go to the Yahoo. Yahoo will the firewall will check, then the request will go to the ISP. In this thing, like more resources will use in the firewall, so that's called the split tunnel. So here I'm going to use the include only this network. Only this network will be go to the firewall. Otherwise, like any other network, they don't need to go to this firewall. So 192.168.1.0/24, that should be used. Network service we don't need. Split tunnel IP pool, we just configure the range. Okay, all good. Now client IP pool with network service, primary DNS we can use here 8.8.8. Secondary DNS we can use 1.1.1. Connection setting, like how long the tunnel wanna stay up. Video traffic if we don't need it. That's it, all good. Okay, so we have what we did, like we configure the, we generate the certificate, we bring the certificate to the SSL TLS, we created a like local database, and then we like created an authentication profile. After that we went to network, we created a portal, then we created a gateway. Yeah, that's all done now. Commit the changes. Commit. So I have already bring this install this application like GlobalProtect 64 Mbps, and this is how it looks like. The GlobalProtect, it's just the application, simple double click, next, 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 nothing to do. So it's almost successful. For them, what I did, like I used the same IP at the same subnet like 86.169. I use like 86.175 and the network for this server, because it's the lab, otherwise it's not hitting, and it's a switch. Otherwise we have to bring a router, we need to do the extra networking things. So close. Let me go and double check with you. So I disable the firewall, and the IP address we're gonna verify it now. Okay, it's over here. So 86.170, that's the IP, not 175. If you go properties, I disable the IPv6, only enable IPv4, 86.170 default subnet, and the default gateway I use 86.169. That's it. So if we go on the CM command line and we ping like ping, can I ping my gateway to 168.86.169? Yes. So to access the VPN, this IP address should be pingable from the outside. So I can ping this IP address. Now go back to the GlobalProtect. So that's, I was telling here, we can type a fully qualified domain name like portal.abc.com or the one like, but here we in my configuration I have specified 192.168.86. Shit. 192.168.86.169 connected. Network connection is unreachable. The portal is another. Check the network connection setting. Okay, no, finally it worked now. It just gives us one warning. So like now this certificate came, like the certificate which we created locally, that certificate is here now. Is not signed by trusted. So click on the source certificate, install certificate on in this local machine. Next, place all certificate in the following store, browse and trusted root certificate. Here we need to store this certificate. Okay, next, finish. Certificate was successfully imported. Okay, okay. Now we can continue. That's like a first login page for the GlobalProtect. Now we can type the username which we created, VPN1 and password 123. Okay, before that let me see, like can I ping this IP address, like this subnet 192.168.1.100, and okay, this one has a address 1.10. Okay, let me open this one. Wipe it. Start again. So I'm giving this IP address 192.168.1.10/24 192.168.1.100. So I gave him address 1.10 and the gateway 1.100. Okay, IP has been assigned. So now go to this one, like can I ping that IP 192.168.1.10? I will not be able to because the tunnel hasn't been stabilized yet. Okay, I'm not able to ping. If I check my IP address, IP config, I can see like only one IP address 86.170. This, nothing. So now connect this tunnel with this user VPN1 password 123456778. Sign in. Yeah, the VPN connected successfully. If I will go here and I will check my IP address, IP config, now I will receive a IP from the subnet 1.1. So I received the IP 1.1.1, like the IP which we configure in the Palo Alto, the gateway, in the agent detail here, client IP pool. So I assigned this range here, and I received a IP 1.1. Like now I will try to ping again the same network 1.10. Now I'm able to ping. So the tunnel has been successfully stabilized. Even if we go and check the traffic monitor, from the outside to outside, traffic is going. Yeah, everything is good now. That's the way to configure the client to site tunnel.